Hi guys, so today I want to de-influence you about organizing. It's something I feel we don't talk about enough, which is basically what organizing actually looks like in real life. Because if you've ever opened Instagram or Pinterest and felt like your house is just falling apart by comparison, you're not alone. And it's not because you're bad at organizing. It's because we're usually shown the prettiest version of something which isn't always reality. So I've spent years organizing my own home. I even took a professional organizer course. Closets, kitchens, kids spaces, I truly enjoy organizing all of them. But the more I do it, the more I realize how unrealistic the online version of organizing can be. So this is me gently de-influencing you about organizing. Not to tell you not to do it, but to help you feel more grounded and less pressured about it. But first, let me introduce myself. My name is Steph, and I like to call myself a productive homebody. I love planning, organizing, DIYs, and modern homemaking, with a focus on real life, not perfection. If this sounds like something you'd enjoy, please hit the subscribe button below. We're usually showing rainbow-colored books, glass jars, matching bins, perfect labels, and none of that is bad, but that's not the full story. Real organizing usually involves mess, decisions, time, money, and a lot of trial and error. And that part almost never makes it into a reel. Let's talk about money first. Organizing can be expensive, way more expensive than people expect. Bins, basket, drawer dividers, shelf risers, labels, storage systems, it all adds up. And when you're doing multiple spaces in a home, it can quickly turn into hundreds of dollars. Examples I have in my own home are my storage closet, which uses 18 bins from IKEA at $6.99 each for a total of $125.82. Another example is my basement storage, which uses a mix of storage bins from Home Depot that cost between $8.97 and $17.97 each. I would estimate that so far this has cost me about $450. And that doesn't even include all the metal shelving we kept from our old home. Both of these areas have taken years for me to organize, and pieces were purchased as needed, not all at once. A lot of organizing can actually be done with what you already have. When I first started purchasing actual bins to organize, I just used stuff I found at the dollar store to try to kind of figure out what was really gonna work and what wasn't, before I invested in purchasing those more expensive organizing pieces. I think it's really important to be honest about the aesthetic of organizing, and that to get to that really Pinterest-worthy look, it's gonna cost money. And if you don't wanna spend that money, it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong or that you're less organized. It just means that you're being more mindful, intentional, and realistic. Every organizing project starts by making an even bigger mess. You have to take everything out of a space before you can put it back in a better way. That messy middle is where a lot of people give up, because suddenly the house looks way worse than when you started. But that part isn't failure, it's just part of the process. You're sorting, deciding, editing, and rehoming things. And that takes time and space. It's uncomfortable, and that's normal. Organizing isn't something you do once and never think about again. It takes maintenance. Oftentimes, organizing companies will even offer maintenance after the organizing is done as part of their services. People move things, kids grow, life changes, stuff gets shoved into drawers, and systems slowly start to drift. It's hard to break out of our habits. That doesn't mean your organizing didn't work. It just means you live in your home. Maintenance doesn't have to be huge. It can be 5 minutes here and there. But I think what we need to realize is that maintaining the systems that we create while organizing is a part of the reality and something that needs to be done and kept on top of. So I've already touched on the aesthetics of organizing, and this kind of goes back to it, is that organized spaces don't always look aesthetic. Some of the most organized spaces that I've had weren't pretty, but they were functional. Mixed bins, mismatched containers, labels that weren't cute, but everything had a place, and I could find what I needed. Aesthetic is optional when it comes to organizing, but functionality is not. When you're organizing, focus on the use of the space and how it works for the people using that space. Your home doesn't exist to be photographed, it exists to be lived in. One of the biggest things that no one tells you about organizing is that it's supposed to change. Your life changes, your routines change, your kids grow up, your hobbies change. So not only does organizing take maintenance, it also takes reviews and changes. This isn't a sign that you did your organizing wrong in the first place. It's a sign that you're adapting your home to your life. An example that I have from my own life is that I used to be really into scrapbooking before I ever started working on my home. And not only did I have to remove all my scrapbooking supplies and all the organization that I had done for it, I also had to make a space in my garage for all my tools and all the materials and everything like that, which was a change in the systems and in the organization of my own home. So yes, just like Pinterest and social media shows us, organizing can be beautiful and satisfying and super helpful in our everyday life. But it's also expensive, it's messy in the middle, it's ongoing, it's not always pretty, and it's constantly evolving. And that's okay, that's how it should be. For me, being a productive homebody isn't about having perfect systems. It's about having systems that support my real life, even when they're a little messy. If organizing has ever made you feel behind or like you're doing something wrong, I hope this video gave you a little bit of permission to do it your own way. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video.